Everything look good on my end?
Okay, so welcome to this week's episode of That Sound Podcast. This week we have a guest all the way from New York, Chris Russio, a big drum tech, drum nerd, I should say, and a big Lars fan like ourselves.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
absolutely.
podcast.
Thanks for having me on today. It's fun to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on, Chris. A
No,
pleasure
no
to have you,
problem.
man.
No
how
problem.
are you after that shake in New York?
Didn't feel it. A
No?
lot of Not at all. A lot of people felt it. I was down in the Bronx doing some work, and
Okay,
I did not feel a thing.
yeah,
And then
but
we we had an aftershock that night, and I didn't feel that either.
wow,
So yeah.
yeah, buddy of mine was up in Pleasantville. He said that he felt it up there.
Yeah, a lot of people felt it. Yeah, but
Mm,
I didn't have the I get what would you say, the fortune or the misfortune? Either or I didn't have any. I didn't
yeah,
feel it one
yeah,
bit.
I'm
So
sure you're the cause of some very good vibrations in the neighborhood
yeah.
with
oh
two
yeah.
24-inch Tama kick drums
Absolutely.
beating away there.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love these old drums. I love this old thrash equipment, the
Yeah.
deep power toms, the 15 by 14, the 16 by 15 over here. I love it.
Yes.
Wouldn't have it any
Yeah.
other way.
I'm
So
sure the 16 by 15 was hard enough to source.
well, I had to get an Art Star. I actually found one on Reverb, and and when you get the Art Star, it won't accept the Grand Star single shark tooth lugs. So
Okay.
yeah, because it's got the full one piece, the Art Stars,
Yeah.
and of course Lars used the single piece, and they wouldn't fit, so I had to do a lot of drilling and then filling. I got some wood dowels to fill the hole and a lot of glue and sanding. It was quite a job, but if you're gonna go that far, you got to get it done. You got to get it
You
done
got to go
right.
all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was able to make that one. Yeah, because I
Well, we'll
don't think.
definitely get back to that as we
Yeah.
go. I'm going to ask you about the build of the kit. I
Oh,
think it'd be good to
absolutely.
explain that as a whole for the
Mm.
listeners. But
Yeah.
it's probably best to jump in, Chris, and ask where did your infatuation with drums begin?
Uh, Even before Metallica came along, I wanted to do drums, right? So I think I want to say 96. I always wanted to get a kit, and just didn't know how to do it back then or what to do. So I guess I started with like a 5 piece groove percussion kit. And then somewhere along the line, a family friend came in and showed me Metallica. It was funny because it was in 96 around Load.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Cunning
and he
Stunts era.
yeah, so he was so excited to get the cassette of Load. And when he got that cassette, he was so pissed off. He's like, honest to God, he's like, what the hell happened? I just listened to the Black album. Now you give me this crap. And he was so mad. So he's like, you want this cassette? Take it. It's yours. So I took it and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know nothing, about the thrash era or the Black album era. So I said, all right, let me try this. So I picked up Load and I listened to it that whole summer 96. And then you get deeper and deeper into it. I think I got some VHS tapes. I got what was it, A Year in the Life of Metallica. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
when I saw that white Tama kit and I saw Lars,
Yeah.
that was it. I don't know what the hell it was, but that was it, that white drum kit. And then ever since then, I've been a Metallica super fan, Lars super fans, all kinds of stuff like that. So that's pretty much where it started, summer of 96.
That was the
And
epiphany.
that was the epiphany. And the more I would get into Metallica, the more I would grow away from Load and Reload, and I get back to the older stuff. And I'm like, these are the drums. These are the ones I want. This is what I want to do. This is the era. So that's pretty much how it started.
Yeah.
So, so it's been a while. And so, like I said, I started with a small groove percussion 5 piece, no bottom heads, terrible condition, uh, bass drum pedal hardware, junk, complete junk. And I think it lasted for a year, just falling apart. And then I got some
You
rock
have to
stars
tighten
and,
the spring like
oh,
every three
yeah.
or 4 hours. It
Yeah,
keeps
yeah.
falling off,
You,
and
The,
you
the,
have to
the
start somewhere
pedal, the
though.
yeah, you
footboard,
do.
yeah. The
Yeah.
footboard was all bent after a month, and it was terrible. But you got to start somewhere, like Luke said. You got to start somewhere. So,
Yeah.
My first kit actually didn't have a bass drum pedal, had no kick drum pedal when I got it. So I
really.
was playing with like a snare drum and hi hat and a couple of toms and trying to use the floor tom as a kick drum for like 3 or 4 weeks till we could
Oh
borrow.
wow.
We had to borrow a kick drum pedal off my cousin, who she was no longer playing drums.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And I mean that's what you got to do. Same here. You got to do it. I started with a single kick drum, and it was a couple years before I even got a double pedal. So I hear what you're saying there. So
Yeah, definitely.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So
So
for listeners maybe that aren't too familiar, that Chris has gone and rebuilt 3 drum kits, is that right?
yeah, I've done 3 Tama kits. I did a Damage Incorporated tour kit for Master of Puppets. I did the Damage Justice kit from Injustice for All, and then I did the one you see
Yes.
behind me,
I
wherever
love
I
the
my
Justice
room
one.
took it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So uh
Yeah,
that was a trip doing
that
those.
was.
So yeah.
Which one did you start with?
I started with the Damage Ink kit, the chrome one. You may have seen it
Yeah,
on my Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not really what I wanted. I that's, believe it or not, it's an awesome kit, but it's my least favorite. Nothing to do with
Really?
the kit itself. Just, I mean, this one's epic. The Damage Incorporated Justice is even more epic, but it popped up. I had taken a break for drums for like 10 years, and I wanted to get back into it. And I didn't want to get into today's kits. I mean, nothing against today's kits. I'm not saying they're bad drums or anything. They're just not me. I don't like the shallow toms, and I just think that they're boring. That is my opinion. I'm not going to get beat up for this, but that's what I feel. So I wanted to get back into it with some power toms, some 24-inch kick drums, and it didn't even cross my mind to build anything like this. I just wanted to get back into it. But one night we were working nights at the time, and we were on standby. So for a week I was just shopping on Reverb and eBay trying to find something.
Hmm.
And the Superstars popped up on Marketplace, actually not too far from me in Long Island. So I'm
Right.
like, all right. I said, let me do it. The price was good, and I said, I've got these Superstars. I might as well, try and replicate the Damage Incorporated kit. So that's where it started. so so I went from there. There wasn't too much work involved in this one. It was a good shape. I polished up the hardware. I had a company down the street make the custom front heads for me. Somebody had to go on the internet and do it manually. So they made the front heads. I polished everything up, and pretty much that's it. Like I said, I prefer Metal, so I went that way. Um, I used to use Zildjian Z Customs, and they didn't have them at the time. But I don't know if you know that they're dropping them this week. I was very upset
No
about
way.
that. The Z Customs are coming back out. Had I
No
known
way.
that, yeah,
Actually didn't know that out of everything.
yeah, I just saw it yesterday. Tama put like a little video, like a little hint video, and you could see the Z hammering, and it's like, oh, they're back, which is great, but I just missed it. So I
And they
spent,
were heavy.
yeah, they were one
Heavy
of my
symbols.
favorites.
But
I
those
used to,
dino beats, hats.
oh, great symbols. Not so much the A line. I used to crack them and break them all the time. Zildjian was great back then. They would warranty them, but it was just a hassle to, ship them back and wait the 3 weeks. Nothing against Zildjian, but they were just a little light for me. So I went with Meinl this time. But like I said, they're putting the Z custom back out, and I'm upset because I just missed it. So in order for me to swap out all these symbols again would be thousands of dollars. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I was I was very upset to see. Great to see it, but upset from my personal situation. So, but yeah, they're coming back out. So and that took me about a year to build the Damage Incorporated kit and get it all
Right.
set up. And I'm still tweaking it. So I originally went with the Road Pros, the Tama Road Pro cymbal stands, and I have most of my kits over here. I have the Tama Titan 6904s on the Damage Justice, and I have the stilts back here. Awesome stands. There's nothing like them. And playing these and then having the Road Pros. So now I decided I want the Titans on the Damage Incorporated kit here. So now I'm trying to locate all those stands again. They don't make this stuff anymore, so you got to go on eBay and Reverb. So I think I got 4 of them. I'm trying to locate 5 more. So I'm currently building this one again, or try
Nice.
to update it again. Yeah.
We'll
get it more
keep an eye
original.
out for sure, but they are very, very hard to get.
Very hard to find. So, I mean, like I said, I've located 4 so far. I've got 7 over there. I've got the 7 back here, but I need 5 more. But so that's where we are right now with that one. So that one was my first kit. And like I said, that wasn't my first choice, but it just happened to be.
Yeah, and it was so close in Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
No.
What
Oh,
kit came second, Chris? Did you build a Damaged Justice or did you decide
yes,
to build? Yep.
the Damage Justice was second. And I was like, after I built the Damage Inc., I'm like, I still want these Grand Stars. That's what I've been looking at, my whole entire life with Metallica and Lars. This is what I want. I want Grand Stars. So
And
I
they're
ended
a
up building.
fabulous kit.
Oh, it's a great kit. I mean, to me, it looks better than the Superstars. I like playing it better, but I needed to have those Grand Stars, so I made that happen. And so that was about a year after the Damage Inc. kit, and I found
wow.
him. There was a company out in St. Louis called Music Go Round, and I guess these Grand Stars have been sitting there for some time, and they didn't want to ship them. This was right during COVID. They didn't want to ship them,
Because
so I,
they're heavy, heavy,
yeah,
heavy drums, birch shells.
yeah. It was missing a few pieces, but when you're trying to build these kits, that can't stop you. You're going to have to find other pieces. You're never really going to find a complete,
Mm-hmm.
identical setup to what Lars used. So I think it had everything. It didn't have the 15 by 14, and it didn't have the 18 by 16. So I had to source that somewhere else. But I ended up buying this kit. They didn't want to ship it. And I called them and I begged them. I begged them, please, please ship it to me. I mean, I can't get out there right now, out there to St. Louis. Ship it to me. And they're like, if you're really interested, we'll work you up a quote. And the quote was like, it was astronomical. It was like $650. But I'm like, you know what? I got to do it. So I did
Yeah.
it. and that's how I got that one. And it arrived here. And so the thing with that, when I got that one was, I think that was cherry wine, and I wanted to get it painted, but because it was right in the middle of COVID, I was bringing it to some auto body shops, and nobody wanted to do it. There was a shortage of workers, and nobody really could fit it in. They had cars to do and whatnot. So that's the only place I could think that would paint something like that. I think I read an article where Lars had it customized at a body shop or something. So
Wow.
that's the route I went, but nobody wanted to do it back then. So I decided to vinyl wrap it, and I got a lot of samples off the internet, and I found one that matched. So I vinyl wrapped it, and I think it came out really good, the color.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and so, like I said, I mean, these are all custom built. They never released anything, you know. Tama never released anything like the Damage Justice kit. It was never a color. I mean, they had gunmetal gray, but that was a lot darker. This was a
It
custom
wasn't the
color.
same.
Yeah,
I had that gunmetal grey Grand Star on a 22, 12, 13, 16,
yeah,
and it was nice. I wanted the 24. I had sort of the same ambition as
yeah.
yourself to build it,
Right,
and
right.
then I had sourced two 24-inch kick drums for $400 off a guy in Germany.
Really, that's a good
And
price.
yet I was going to travel and bring them home. My dad said he would come with me and we were going to work something with it. But he backed water at the last minute, the seller, and
That
decided that he was
sucks.
going to hang on to them. And then I was like, this is going
Uh,
to take a while to build this kit, all of this
yeah.
sort of thing. And then
The,
you're not going to want to gig that. You don't have, what should I say, the versatility of I can still gig the
right,
Devil Red
right.
kit and have done and will
Yeah,
continue to do so.
right. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to lift these out of here, and I wouldn't want to anyway. I mean, even though I
No.
play them every day, they're going to get banged up and damaged. So, but
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine bringing that to a club and going to the sound guy, Mike, this. They, they look at you like you're crazy. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a crazy time, and so I like I said, I vinyl wrapped it, and then it came down to the hardware. And everybody knows it's no secret that Lars had his powder coated. So I went to a powder coater, and I brought him everything, and I wanted to sit down and discuss and say, hey, this isn't a set of rims from a car. This is like, I think it was like 600 pieces, all the little screws and washers and everything. And I went to him and I said, can you do this? I said, if you can't do this, be honest with me. And he says, absolutely no problem. I could knock this thing out in a week. So unfortunately, a week turned to 2 weeks, turned to 3 weeks, and he was feeding me all this information that was false. 6 weeks go by and I show up. I said, dude, I said, what is going on here? And he's like, I'm working on it right now. He had 25 pieces taped. That's it after 6 weeks. And
No way.
there were parts and pieces scattered all over the shop.
Man.
I'm like, box everything up. I said, I'm taking it out of here right now. And I was just so fortunate that I lost, like, he lost four lugs, not lugs, tuning screws on me, and that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Everything
say
else was
that.
accounted for. So
Yeah,
I said, I'm never letting this hardware out of my sight again, because you guys know
yeah.
how hard to source this stuff. So I ended up buying a sandblaster myself, and I just sandblasted everything. And then a lot of people scoff at this, but I spray painted it. But I did it,
Oh,
two coats of primer. I didn't just, rattle can it and that, you
yeah.
know, call it a day.
Yeah.
No, I gave it 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of color, and then 2 coats of clear, and I wet sanded everything, and it came out really nice. So that was the process of building that. So, and
Yeah,
like I said, I'll never let the hardware out of my sight again. So it was
yeah.
unfortunate what that powder coater did to me. He was
It was
actually, I
look.
don't
It was
know.
lucky you didn't lose more pieces. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he had lost some of them lugs or the tom mounts, man, you got to
Man.
buy a whole new drum to get some of those
Oh,
pieces.
those
Yeah.
tom mounts, I couldn't believe the value of the Grand Star tom mounts.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So,
Yes, some of
but
them sell for really big money on eBay and Reverb at the moment for whatever
yeah,
reason.
Mm.
I
It's
guess
just
it's
hard
just
got
yeah, just the market, whatever's available. So,
supply and
but
demand.
yeah, so I'll never let the hardware out of my sight again. So,
Yeah.
but that's the one with that, and a lot of this stuff that I've sourced, marketplace, Facebook marketplace. So, I'll
Mm.
be working and then something will pop up 100 miles away, and I'm like, I tell my girlfriend, hey, I gotta go tonight, I gotta grab it. And this happened for like 5 years, whatever you could find, because like I said, you can't source an entire Lars kit in the same sizes and everything. So to build it, you just got to be willing to do whatever. So it was like a 5 year a journey to build all these, or adventure, I should say. So difficult, but yeah, it's done now. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so
worth the hard work.
oh yeah, absolutely. It was a bucket list thing. I said, I got to do this. I don't know how
Yeah.
much longer, I'm going to be able to be in this position to buy drums and get new drums. I got to get this done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the story on those two. Yeah.
That was the Damaged Justice kit, and then we
Yeah.
moved on to the Pride and Joy,
Yeah.
the
Believe it or
star
not,
of the show.
yeah, the one behind me. This was an afterthought. I wasn't even going to do this one. I was going to wait, like everybody else, for the one of 25, just in case people don't know. This is not one of the one of 25, like I discussed with you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Almost impossible to get one of those 25 retail kits. A lot of people do have them. I heard there were 25 were made, two were damaged, so there's 23 in circulation, and I think I know about 6 or 7 of them out there. So what does that leave you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what's the chances I was going to get one? So I decided to build this one. I was an afterthought. I wasn't even going to do it, like I said, but when I was building the Damaged Justice kit, I'd have to go out and buy, you know, kits here and kits there for
Bits
maybe
and
one
pieces. Yeah.
size, right? So at the end, I was left with a 24, a 10, and a 15. I'm like, well, I've got these 3 drums. I might as well build this one. Why not? I've got 2 of the hardest sizes to source. Might as well do it. And so then I started all over, pretty much the same process. And I did it. And there it is behind me. And same thing, but this time I had to do the stilt stands instead of the regular 6904 Titan. So I had to do that. And like I said, I like to keep them as original as possible, but still, kind of put my spin on it. Like this one back here, I used an 18 by 16 and a 20 by 18 floor tom, because I don't like the idea of playing with 2 of the same size floor toms. I know Lars did, but to me, it's kind of like that's overkill. So I said, let me try and do a 20 by 18 floor tom. I've never played one. Seems like it would be pretty cool. So I had to get a superstar shell. Kind of, it's a superstar's the birch, and as close as I can get. I got a 20 by 18, and that was hard to find. And I put the Grand Star lugs on it, and I really enjoy the 20 by 18. It's just a total friggin' cannon. So it's
Mm.
Kick
hard to
drum.
it's hard to reach it back there, but when I can get it, It sounds really good. So I'm glad I did that. So like I said, I know he does the 218s on this kit, but I wanted to do something different. So I do kind of put my spin on these kits a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you read in Modern Drummer, Chris, the stories of the two 18 by 16 floor toms. It was like he only ever used one, and
Yeah.
the second one would just be a beer holder or set list
Yeah.
holder for
Coffee
sound
table.
check
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coffee table. They
Yeah.
called it the coffee table. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So I said, all right, I'm going to use it. Let me do a 20 by 18. So that's how I did that kit. So there was a total afterthought, but I'm glad I did it. So,
It's a beautiful
and
kit.
thank you. And like I said, if I ever get a hold of one of the retail kits, this will probably go. But until then, this is the best I could do. Best
How
I could
much do
do.
you think they're going to go for?
Uh,
If you, if you can even source one.
I would probably say 8 to 10. I mean, the last one went for 6, like we were discussing earlier. But
Hmm.
times are changed right now. You got a lot more guys in the market, not just me. It might go for 8 to 10. I saw it listed as high as 12, and it had dropped down to 6. So I would probably say 8 to 10. So
Yeah,
if you're looking for it, you better be ready to pay. So
yeah.
that's just the way it is. It's a piece of musical history. One of the most
You
popular
gotta
Tama
have the
kits
loot.
on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially,
yeah,
it all depends whether it has the two signed front heads or not.
yeah, yeah.
There is a guy, there's a big Tama collector in Mexico called Alfredo LaRue. You might be
Hmm.
aware of him.
Yep.
He has a lot of personal owned Lars drums, as far as I'm aware,
Hmm.
and he has one of the 25 signatures, as good as the day it came
Oh,
out of the box with the signed front heads. And his asking price is $35,000 for anybody who wants to
God
buy it.
damn.
well, that,
Now, we
that's a
all
little
know that's
crazy.
not
I
going to
wouldn't.
sell.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So,
You'd be
but good for
surprised
him.
though.
He's got one, but
Yeah, I
well,
know.
you got to really want it.
It's
Yeah.
going
If
to be like
somebody
an
wants it
oil
that bad,
money.
Yeah, like so.
Saudi or Russia, or
Like it's
if
a.
they get into that market that it's like, hey, my son loves Metallica, he
Well, they
wants
played
that.
Saudi Arabia, right?
Well,
Didn't they?
maybe like one of the the sheiks would just be like, Lars,
Yeah.
blank check. How
Yeah.
much for that one in the Screaming
Yeah.
Suicide music video? I
yeah.
want
Well,
that one.
more power to him because I wouldn't pay 35 grand
No.
for it. So no.
Yeah. Talk about blank
So
checks. Remember that story we heard?
Yeah, that was actually very good.
The Master of Puppets backdrop that went missing.
oh, I would have
Yeah.
loved to have one of those. Tell me that story.
So we have this guy coming on from England. His name is Wayne Summers. He's a collector, and
Mhm.
so long story short, the backdrop that Cliff played in front of, yeah, in
of the Puppets
'86.
tour.
I think the last gig was in London somewhere, but they had a lock up in Birmingham.
Mhm.
So as the the gigs the what do you call it?
Before they would have packed up, say
Yeah,
they went to Sweden,
yeah,
because the Sweden is where he died. It would have been
yeah.
the
But
last
that
gig
didn't
of
they
them.
go back? But it was in lock up in England anyway. Basically, somebody stole it.
Uh, that happens a
Uh,
lot to Metallica.
yeah, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that was '86. I think in 2015 or 16, this guy in Birmingham was in a bar and looked over and seen the bar lady that owned the bar with this huge, massive Metallica Master of Puppets backdrop, and she was going to
Wow.
cut it up. And he was like,
Oh,
"What are you doing? Where did you get that?" And she's like, "Oh, my daughter's boyfriend found it somewhere. Found it somewhere." Um,
wow.
and she's like, "It's so big, I can't fit it on the pub wall, so I'm going to cut it up." He's like, "No, no, no, don't cut it, don't cut it. I'll
Cut
buy
that
it off
up.
you." So he bought it, kept it for a couple of years, then put it up on eBay. And then this guy Wayne seen it, and he's like, "Is this the backdrop? Oh my god!" Contacted the guy. It was up on auction on eBay. He ended up missing the auction.
And then he said his bid came through anyway,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
the bid.
Or
He
it
actually
didn't meet
no.
reserve. He
Yeah, it didn't
contacted
meet
him,
the
wasn't it?
reserve, and he said he emailed the guy, and he's like, "It's your lucky day. You are the only guy from England that has
Uh,
contacted me. So logistically, it might be better to just sell it to you." So we met him in a McDonald's car park, laid it all out,
oh,
and and the guy Wayne is like in his head, he's like, "Holy shit, this is the
this
backdrop."
is it. This is
Yeah.
it.
So didn't tell the guy, bought it, I think he went to Scandinavia on tour. He was well in. He went to a lot of gigs. I think he's been to like 100 Metallica
Yeah,
gigs.
he's been to an awful
He
good
bumped
amount of
into a couple of
shows.
the crew and showed them the picture. And one of the guys was Rob's tech or something, and they all talked to each other, showed him the picture. He got an email to meet them at the Download Festival in England, and the guy said, "Bring it with you." And they laid it out on the floor, and they were like, "Yeah,
That's
this is
it.
it."
That's it.
So they're
That's
like,
it.
"What do you want? What do you want for it?" And the guy was like, "I just want to give it back to the band. I've been offered a blank check, like you said, like those collectors saying, I don't care, just write it down and figure I'll buy it off you, because it's been, you know, Cliff and the history." And he's like, "No," and they were like, "Well, we can't." Metallica were like, "We can't give you money, but like, is there
Mhm.
anything that you want?" And he's like, "Well, I never met the band, so."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it will be in a later podcast. It's a really good
Okay.
story. It's a
All right, so
really
they
good
got it
story.
back. That's good.
They
That's
got it
good.
back, and they
Yeah.
played in. Did they play in New York? I think they played in New York on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and they put the backdrop and
Did they use it on the Howard Stern show?
maybe it was the no, it wasn't Howard Stern.
No.
It was somewhere in
Mm.
New York, and they played in front of it after he gave it back, which was pretty cool. Yeah,
Okay, that's
Maybe they'll
cool.
bring it out for the 40th anniversary in '86.
possibly. Yeah, yeah. It's a cool story though. But
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
2026.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I'll send you on some stuff. So how did
Okay,
you get
that's
into
cool.
drums then? Did you play in a band? Did you play original stuff? You play covers or what?
Well, when I was younger, I just, like I said before, Metallica came along. I just wanted to play drums, and
Hmm.
so I've done a lot of bands. I mean, of course, they don't go anywhere. High school bands, local bands. I mean, you guys might have heard of it around here called the Chance nightclub, or you ever hear of that?
In New
Chance in
York?
Poughkeepsie. In Poughkeepsy.
On Poughkeepsie? God, I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
been in
Oh,
Poughkeepsie. God.
yeah. Well, that's as far as we ever got. That's kind of that was the big club at the time that local bands
Okay.
played. I mean, I've seen Megadeth there, Anthrax.
All
I know
right.
Slayer played there back in the day. So that's as far as it ever went. So I played in some bands, and mainly nowadays it's just, I do it for fun. I throw on the headphones and I put on some Metallica, Pantera, and I play along with it. And
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm just trying. I just got some equipment. I'm trying to get covers going because I'm an old school thrash guy. I don't know technology like this technology. It
Hmm.
was hard enough for me to sign on here on Zoom. I was dreading it for like a week because I don't even know the technology of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
microphones and recording and mixing, don't know how to do it. So I'm starting off with something called the Yamaha EAD10. It looks like it kind of made it easy to do.
They're
So I'm
great.
I'm still struggling with that, but I'm trying to get some covers going. So that's pretty much what I do nowadays. So I did all the band stuff, and it was fun. And we did originals, but the old school thrash is where my heart is right now. So that's what I
Yeah,
do pretty much down here. Yeah.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
hopefully I'll have some covers going for you soon for everybody
Cool.
who's
Nice.
interested.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
That'd be
Hopefully.
incredible to see with those kits.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
trying. I've got the equipment coming, but I just gotta slowly figure this out. It's a pain in the ass, but I'm
yeah.
getting there. So
You'll
I
get
got
it.
I finally got sound going. I put it on my Instagram, and my goddamn cord, because I ordered for the EAD10, I needed a special like printer to type C. So I don't know. So I ordered this cord and it was like 2 feet long. So I couldn't turn the camera around because I'm trying to adjust it. It's like as close as could be. You can't see anything. So I had to do it like off a picture with a reflection and give some
Yeah, yeah.
sound. At least I got the sound done. So that was like a huge step for me. But I'm working on it. So hopefully
Yeah.
soon I'll
You
have some
get there.
videos
You'll
going.
We
get
Right?
saw
there.
Yeah.
that. We actually watched that video together the other day.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Thought it
Yeah,
was
and, and
brilliant.
and that took me. You don't understand. For that stupid little video, that took me years to figure that out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm
Maybe
definitely
Luke
not.
will point you in the right direction. Maybe.
Look, it takes a long time, Chris. I'm, what should I say, a fine example of that it's taken me a long time to
Uh,
get my finger out and get going. And,
yeah.
I got an interface and got some mics and bits and pieces, but it was a very tedious process.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
I
there was
I
a lot
agree.
of
I
hair
agree.
pulling out, a lot of anger, a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
expletives.
Yes, absolutely. I feel it. But yeah, I saw some of your videos doing a lot better than me. So hopefully I'll get there one day.
Man,
Yeah.
you'll get there. It's funny, you just got to jump in to swim. It's
Yeah.
not actually as hard as
Right, right.
Logic is definitely the easiest DAW to use if you're going to use anything on a
Okay.
laptop, or even a Focusrite. Them the pre interface, I should say, and some mics will be pretty good. Like, you can't go wrong with the Shure stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll figure it out one day. Like, I'll screw
Yeah,
around with this Yamaha for now, and I'll see how far I
Yeah.
can get with
that's
it.
that's the way I started myself. It was phone audio, and then I had
Mm,
gotten one of the Rode like mini micro
hmm
um, microphones, and put the dead cat, the sort of duffel on it, and use
Okay.
that into the phone to get some more low end. And then I
hmm
got the EAD10, and I found the EAD10 was brilliant. It was absolutely great. It really enhanced my practice for the in-ear monitoring. I thought that was incredible, but I
Yeah.
found it hard to work with my phone for whatever
Oh,
reason. But that was just like
yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I
And
know
then
something happened. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, sorry, go on ahead.
I know something had happened with the EAD10 where I think it was Android did this upgrade or something. And before I even started using it, I had bought the EAD10 and I didn't even connect it to the phone. And I was hearing all these things, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go get an Apple to avoid this. And then I guess they just recently fixed it. So maybe that's what was going on. Because
Maybe that was the problem, because I was
yeah,
working with it on an Android and it wasn't working so good.
Mm.
yeah, that's what I
I'd
had
done a
heard.
couple of things, but it was great. Like, I even recorded some demos with it. A friend of mine ran it through Pro Tools, and I
Hmm
done some demos for him, and it sounded really, really good. It's a phenomenal snare mic. It picks up
Yeah,
the snare and the kick very, very well.
yeah,
Picks up a great sound, great
yeah.
picture.
I thought it
I've
was just
also seen, if you've seen some of the videos of another great drummer on Instagram, and the Tama guy, Travis or drummer is what he goes under.
I have to look that up.
I think he's from BC in Canada. He's from outside Vancouver somewhere,
Hmm
and he is a killer setup. But he hangs the EAD10 from the roof, Chris, like an overhead.
Really?
So it might be worth checking out for yourself, especially with the bigger kit. It might capture a full picture.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
not too
okay.
sure. I've never tried it
I'll give it a
myself.
try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I picked up two kits. I found one used on Marketplace because it's not too good with two bass drums. You got to connect to the one. The other one's kind of like dead. So I was told you could split the output and you could mic both kick drums. So I bought a cheap one off of Marketplace. I'm gonna screw around with it and split the audio. We'll see how it works.
That'll be
So
fun. That'll be
I
great,
don't
because you
know.
could get some
It
sort of like triggered sound going too.
maybe. So I just thought it was like the perfect thing to jump in with to get started with the
Yeah.
little knowledge I have about recording. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Learn as you go.
Well,
So
I'm looking forward to
yeah.
seeing those covers. That'll
Yeah.
be
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you.
Definitely, man.
And
I'm working
with a
on it.
bit
So
with a bit of luck, they'll skyrocket, and you'll be fit to get some of the Z customs.
imagine that. Yeah, yeah. That'd be cool.
Someone from
But
Zildjian needs to sort this man out.
Yeah, definitely.
They're only up
yeah,
the road
man.
in Boston.
Right, right. Yeah, those
Yeah.
Z customs, man, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, what's your favorite album of Metallica?
and justice for all, no question.
Yeah,
No
yeah, me
Yeah.
question.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people being a drummer, I like the drum sound. I know you can't hear Jason. I know he's not in there, but for me, I mean, the snare's a little dry to me, but the kick drum sound,
I
that's where it's
love the
at.
kick drum sound.
Love the
mm,
kick drum. A lot of people don't, but again, they might not be drummers.
yeah,
That's my favorite album, my favorite sound. I love that kick drum.
yeah.
Chris, here's a
So,
great question, because I know in the other podcast, and I had mentioned that Chris had been on the History of Drums podcast, where he talks about all of Lars's gear from the inception of Metallica right up until now. And you guys had mentioned at the end of it that if you were going to talk studio gear, it'd be another series or another full part podcast altogether. Could you tell us a little bit about the kit that was used for those And Justice for All studio sessions?
so the Injustice for All studio sessions, it was pretty much the Damage Incorporated kick drums, the 22 by 16 Superstar, the chrome ones. That's what he used in the studio. Of course, there's effects on it, but those were the kick drums in the studio. And there's not many pictures like everything else when it comes to the studio, but there was a lot of Grand Star toms on there. So it was a mixture of the Superstar kick drums and Grand Star toms. So that's pretty much how he got that sound. But I heard he loved the sound of those kick drums, and that's what he used. And believe it or not, they are my favorite kick drums too. Out of all 6 of these, I don't know, for some reason, and I try and tune them all the same, I get the most punch out of those superstars. It's crazy.
No way.
But I don't know why. It's pretty much I use all the same pillows, all the same heads, but for some reason I feel like I get more punch. Now call me crazy, but that's just what I feel like. So not that these are bad kick drums, the Grand Stars, but there's just something about those. And I guess that's what he was thinking too.
And are the superstars birch or mahogany, Chris?
They're birch. They're birch.
They're birch as well.
Yes. Yep. So I don't know, something about it.
I wonder, is it anything to do with, they say the Grand Star Customs, I know, are supposed to be Japanese birch,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Where
nine ply birch. Yeah.
they had said the standard line was made out of Canadian wood because it was easier, or whatever the whole discrepancy is, or the rumors go. I wonder, is it anything to do with the superstars, or the?
It could be, or it could just be where the hell I have it situated in my house. That just sounds different. You know, who knows?
It all depends on the room too.
Yeah.
Right. It could be this corner opposed to that corner. So I don't know, but just like to me, they feel punchier. So
One
could be
thing
the
I
wood.
love about Tama kick drums is how loud they are.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean,
that's incredible.
Yeah. So we're still trying to get that studio episode out. So though you were talking about the Drum History podcast, so we're still trying to get it. I mean, life gets in the way sometimes, you know, both of us. And Bart's a very busy guy, and I'm busy too, but we're still trying to get it out to you, and I'll discuss that in greater length too. So
yeah, no, I really look forward to hearing that episode.
Yeah,
That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, that was an experience. We talked about it a little earlier, but doing the Drum History podcast, what a great experience! And like I told you before, I've never done anything like that before. And when Bart approached me, and then I saw how many followers he had, like 40,000. I think one of them there was like 90,000 on something. I was just nervous as shit. I was just sweating. So, and like I told you earlier, Bart is a hell of a professional, and it just has this calming demeanor. He calmed me down, and then it was just fun after that. And even this morning, as the time approached with you guys, I'm just nervous as shit to do these.
No, man.
Oh, no, not at all.
Well,
Just a bit of fun, man.
It's
having
fun.
some fun.
Yeah, man. We love talking music. We love talking Metallica. We love talking anything.
I'll just talk
absolutely
drums and guitar and tech stuff all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're hoping at the beginning of May to start working on that too. So
nice.
it's been in the works for a long time, but like I said, you know, sometimes life gets in the way, and then you have Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I know he had a new baby, so it's difficult, but we're still trying to get it out there. So hopefully people will enjoy that as much as I enjoy doing them. So
well, hopefully we get a lot of Irish and English ears listening to this one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
man.
So this is fun. I like doing these. So and I like like you said, I like talking about the drums, Metallica, all that stuff. So, but
what's your take on the newer drum kits that came out?
You're talking about the one Lars is using now?
The yellow one.
I think it's the best looking one that he's done since the white one behind me. But and like I said earlier, nothing against the Star Classics, but it's just not my style. You know, they're fabulous drums. They sound great, but you know, they're just a little high pitched for me with the shallow toms. I prefer the power toms. But as far as looks, I think that's the best looking one that he's done.
We'd like to interrupt this podcast to bring you a public service announcement to let Tama Japan know that we want power toms back in the catalog.
Yes, absolutely. I know they released a few things this year. I think they did the bell brass snare came back, and that was cool to see. I know they did the superstars, but it's like, guys, where's the extra sizes? Because back then it was superstar and superstar extra. Extra was the power toms. It's like, why didn't you release the extra sizes? Why didn't you give us the old tom holders? I mean, the tom holders are fantastic. I mean, trust me, they're holding up a 15 by 14 over there. So I was just a little disappointed they didn't bring it back like it used to be, but I guess it's a start. But yes, please bring back the power toms, please. And give us some literature on this kit back there. This one of 25. I know there's some literature in the vault. We want to hear about it. We want to know more about it. So If
We need
somebody,
to know.
yeah, absolutely. One of the most famous kits on the planet. Let us know more about it.
I'm not sure if you've seen John Tempest's newest custom Tama Star, Chris. He has some clips of it on his Instagram, and he has some concert toms in the power sizes. And
Really,
like a custom midnight navy or midnight blue mist. And
I'm
it
gonna
was
check
just
that out.
absolutely fabulous. Two
Yeah,
24-inch kicks. And it's just a monster of a kit.
that is
Monstrosity.
that's good to see. Maybe it's coming back. Maybe it's finally coming back. So I'm gonna check that out.
What were you saying about the video from 72 Seasons? Were you saying the kid?
Yeah, so before 72 Seasons was released, or the artwork was released,
The video.
remember, for the videos and the singles that it dropped,
Oh,
there
that's
was a
what it
lot
was.
of dark
Oh, yeah,
fonts
yeah.
and bits and pieces, so the yellow hadn't really come to light
Yes.
yet, maybe that was the theme. Lars usually has a new kit for every tour or every album. So what happened was, when they had dropped, I think it was the Screaming Suicide video was the first one. I could be wrong. I feel free to be corrected on that. But he played the same kit that's in Chris's
Yeah.
Yeah,
background
that's
there.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he
Yeah.
brought back that Black Album tour kit.
But that's what it was.
But
Yeah, for the video.
Yeah.
everyone lost their shit.
Yeah.
So the whole drumming community was like, we're finally getting it. We're going to get a reissue of this kit. Because that's what
And
everybody
nothing
wants,
happened.
is
Yeah,
to be able to happen. And then it's like the yellow one, which was even a crazier meltdown. That like broke Instagram for the day, with all my drum friends that I followed was like, I need one of these. This is absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I remember that. So it was the Lux Eterna video. You were close,
Oh, that's
but
right.
Yes.
Yes.
even with me, it caused a hell of a stir. And like you, I'm like, they're finally going to release it, or he's going to use it again, or do some kind of spin on it. And I was excited. I'm like, think about it. And I said to myself, he's probably going to use a yellow sparkle on the next tour. I was close, but then I'm like, well, maybe that one will come out, because they had done, they did the deeper purple retail release for Hardwired, and
Yeah.
I thought they would release this new yellow one, and nothing. We didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
I
So
think that would be a lovely kit to have with the black
yeah,
hardware as well. It'd
oh
be
yeah,
fabulous, Chris.
I would pick that up definitely, because for a little bit I was thinking about building one of those, because you could get the stuff brand new from Tom, and now it's still in production. And I was thinking about doing one. I mean, I don't know. I'm still in the air about it. But if they released a retail, special edition 72 seasons Lars kit, how awesome would that be? That would be
Yeah.
amazing. I think a lot of people would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They may release one yet. I'd say if you wait to see what
Yeah,
gets announced for next year.
I hope so. I definitely hope so. Like you, that would be really cool. So
You got to hear that in person in MetLife.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It took.
How was that?
Uh, I'm not even gonna lie. It brought a tear to my eye. You finally get your favorite band. You get to see them live. I missed them quite a few times from the '90s up until then. I missed them at MetLife many times. I was young, school, or my parents wouldn't let me go. And then when I got older, I kind of, you know, we could talk all day about Saint Anger, but when they kind of did Saint Anger, I was like, I don't want to be bothered with this no more. So I kind of, it sounds bad, but that's just the truth. So,
Okay.
so then I got away from it a little bit, and then I missed them again in 17, because the price was just astronomical back then. I think it was up in Albany, and just to get a general admission, I think it was like $500 a ticket for one night.
No
What?
And
way.
this was the Hardwire tour, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. But when this one came around, it was as you know, it was the two shows, the
Two
Friday and
shows.
the Sunday. I think with insurance on the ticket, we paid 500 for two shows. I'm like, now that's a deal.
Yeah.
Now I got to do it. So, and that was amazing. To finally just hear them. I've heard uh, so many thrash metal bands, and just to finally hear my favorite, that was just a hell of an experience.
Yeah.
So they started with Creeping Death, and I've always, another one of my bucket things is like, I want to be part of the die chant,
Yeah.
that epic die chant. I finally got to see it. And then they broke into
Yeah.
Harvester, and the sound was just amazing. So we did the 2 nights. That was great. And
Were you sitting, or were you on the floor, or?
well, we were sitting. So that's another funny story. So there's four of us that went, and we knew we wanted to go. And I forget, I think tickets went on sale at noon. and we're all waiting to get these tickets. And we'd pull up on the floor seats and they disappear. And then we'd have
Yeah.
to pull something else up and they disappear. And I had
Yeah. Yeah.
seats over here and I'd go to pay and they disappear. And finally somebody's like, I got them. I'm like, good, we got them. So we don't care where we were, but we got them. So we were like up on the first deck. I think
Oh,
there's
okay.
3 tiers. We were just
Yeah.
off the floor. At that point, it was, beggars.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't argue. But
Mm-hmm.
and then people were selling floor tickets afterwards. So,
Yeah.
usually, I don't really know much about StubHub and how all that stuff works. I've kind of been like, stick with Ticketmaster. At least you're not going to get scammed.
Yeah.
Now I'm familiar with StubHub. So next time I'll just probably wait and I'll buy them off of StubHub or something because I
Mm-hmm.
know it's legitimate. But that's how we did it. And we felt lucky to just get on that first kind of tier. But that was amazing. And I think Pantera opened for him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I got my feelings about the new Pantera, but it was still good to see Phil and hear the old songs again. So, and
I was
that
shocked.
sounded good.
I seen footage of Pantera, and like obviously they were opening, but it wasn't even packed at the stage, and the lights were what was bright, and
Yeah,
it kind of, to me, it kind of gave Pantera a bit of disjustice. I know it's not the same Pantera, but
yeah.
it kind of felt like people were just walking around, going to their seats. I'm like,
So,
still Phil.
when they were on, it was in the summertime, so it's still
That's
light
right.
out. So yeah, the sun was shining on them, and you have to remember there was just thousands of people still tailgating. They're coming to see
Yeah,
Metallica. So it
yeah,
did kind of, from what they used to do, was kind of like
yeah,
an injustice for them. But people were walking around getting drinks, finding the seats, and it was.
yeah,
But I mean, I guess if they come to you and say, "Hey, you want to do a stadium tour with Metallica?" Who's going to
yeah,
turn that down?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's probably what it was. But they were cool too. I mean, I have my feelings about the new Pantera opposed to the
yeah.
old, but it's something unique to see. So I did get we got to see them
I
too, and that was
I'd
pretty
love
cool.
to. I would have. You mentioned earlier that you seen
Yeah,
Pantera in
I,
2000.
2000, like when they were in their prime there, I got to see Dimebag, and
Man,
I
Vinny.
got one of Dimebag's picks. I saw Vinny. So
what?
yeah, so Vinny's I loved his Pearl kits, man, back then. But so he was sitting so high up and we're down so low, you couldn't see Vinny. All you just see are these massive power toms and massive kick drums. So, but like you put out that little story and I responded, best
Yeah,
show I've ever been to because I don't know what they do. The sound was just it was so intense. I mean, I guess because we were in like an arena instead of
Where was the venue?
stadium. So it was in Poughkeepsie. It was at the time it was Mid Hudson Civic Center. They may have renamed it. It might still be the Mid Hudson Civic Center, but it was in
Oh,
Poughkeepsie,
right.
and the sound was just amazing. I think that's the first time in my life. I listen to music all the time in my cars everywhere I go. It was me and a friend. I'm like, turn this radio off. I can't do any more music. No more
Yeah.
metal tonight because the ears were just ringing and the pounding in your chest. Best show I've ever been to.
Oh
And
man.
I think Morbid Angel had opened for him, and I love Morbid Angel too. And I got to see. I think Pete Sandoval is just a fantastic drummer. The speed from Pete Sandoval, and I got to see him too. And it was just the whole experience. Best show I think I've ever been to. Nothing against the Metallica show, but it was
Yeah.
just and you had Vinny and you had Dime and Rex and
Oh
Phil.
man.
Phil was like still kind of straight and he had the long hair and it was just fucking metal.
Yeah.
So and that
That
was
is
great.
as powerful as it gets. Like, was that an
Yeah,
indoor gig?
that was an indoor gig in an indoor arena
Oh
Yeah, I'd
and
say the
man.
sound. That was just like a
oh,
wall of sound.
Yeah.
just a wall and
An
it was just
assault on your ears, on your
yeah. And I mean
sensory.
I seen Slayer there. I saw Megadeth at the Chance, and these are also very big bands, and this nothing compared to the sound of Pantera at that show.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and you can pull it up on YouTube, Pantera and Poughkeepsie, but you can't. Unfortunately, you'll never get to experience that again. But let me just
No,
tell you,
too hard.
it just rocked us. And like I said, I got in the car. I'm like, turn that music off. I'm just done.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
had all
yeah.
I could take. But that was an amazing show.
I
Pantera was
remember
something, man.
the first time I seen Pantera, the DVD that they put out of they were which album were they recording?
Vulgar display of power.
Yeah, and Dime. I remember the first time I seen Dime with the beard, the pink
Yeah,
beard, and
yeah,
fucking the boots and the pure Texas. I'm like, this
yeah.
is fucking sick.
That
This is
that
it.
crazy band. I love them, man. And
Yeah.
like I said, I love Slayer too. I saw Slayer there, and they were great too, but nothing compared to that sound. Just something
Yeah.
about Vince's drums, man. He always the depth on that snare,
Yeah.
just
It
amazing.
was fat.
Yeah.
There's so much attack.
Yeah. Even that
Uh,
video for
there we go.
Revolution.
We lost video for a little bit.
Oh, you're good. The video
We're
for
losing
Revolution.
video and sound. Can you see me?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
we can.
Can
Can
you
you
can
hear
you
us
guys
and
see
see
me?
us?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're back now. I lost video for a little bit. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying about Vinny, that video for Revolution is My Name. I love that with the sticks on fire.
Yeah, yeah. Is it just me, or did that look like a different kit? That looked kind of like a baby blue or like an aqua green kit or something? Is that just me? Did anybody else
Mm,
notice that?
I don't think I
Yeah,
noticed
I'm
that.
not
Go
too
back and
sure
take a look on
myself.
on
I
YouTube.
must have a
Yeah,
look at it. Yeah.
yeah, I must have a
Because
look.
I remember he had the titanium silver on that tour, and that one in the video was a little different. Still cool,
Yeah,
but yeah, the sticks on fire. Yeah,
yeah.
that was just
I'd
something
love to
back then.
see them.
Great time to be alive.
We hope to see Metallica over the summer in Europe, but we don't got Pantera coming.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pantera ain't supporting.
No,
So
Yeah,
no,
no.
I think is it
yeah,
Five Finger Dead Punch or
yeah,
Yeah,
something on
that
Mammoth,
stage?
I think.
sucks.
Mammoth.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually saw Mammoth a wee bit with Slash a
Oh
couple of
yeah,
weeks. They
that's
were
right.
supporting Slash.
But we got to see Metallica up pretty damn close.
We were golden circle for Slane Castle, and
Oh,
it
really?
was so close, Chris, that you could see the flame top on James's Gibson Les Paul.
Really?
In the
That
pictures that
that's
we
Yeah,
took.
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
Uh,
We could hear Lars's snare before it came out on the speakers. It was like that. That's
the
how close we.
latency when they came out to the crowd to sit in the pit for Seek and Destroy, and I think it was For Whom the Bell Tolls. There
Yeah,
was
at the
maybe
end.
3 songs, and we were like looking right in the line of his
Yeah,
kit.
yeah,
And
Really? Oh,
you
that's
could
that's
hear the
cool.
smack in the
yeah,
snare and just the slightest
yeah.
where like you could hear it. It was
Right before, yeah, wait,
absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
We're actually
that's
on the
cool.
YouTube video
Yeah,
for.
we're in
Are
the
you?
video for The Memory
Yeah,
Remains. Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
gotta
Slane.
watch that.
Yeah,
That's
We
cool,
will
Slane.
send
man.
it to you, yeah.
Slane
Send me that. I
Castle.
want to check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
80,000 people in a field, just nuts.
Yes. Some of those European shows that I watch, like Donington and all that. That's
Yeah,
actually the first place I saw this kit was that year in the life. It was in Donington. That's what did it. Those shows just look amazing over
yeah.
there. All those
Did he
people
have
that
that
show up.
kit in the gig in Russia in
Oh
Moscow?
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Moscow
the
kit.
oh, that was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
craziest gig I ever
Yeah.
Yes.
seen.
That's the one where he busted
Choppers
his
going
finger
by.
open. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was cool. Nobody'd ever done anything like that before, and
yeah,
because the Berlin Wall just fell and everything, and they went
yeah,
over there.
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
everybody knows the story, but just an amazing show,
yeah.
and just makes that white kid larger than life. So
That was the
I
craziest
love those
footage I've
shows,
ever
man.
Oh
seen.
man, absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous. They estimate
1.6.
1.5 million. Like they reckon it could have been
Jesus,
anywhere from 500,000 to 1.5 million. There's no
imagine that.
accurate head
It was
count.
a free concert.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
free because
Mm.
James talked about it on the either the Rogan podcast. I think they're like, "How did you end up doing that?" And he
Yeah,
was like, "Well, the young people said that they wanted metal,
we
so
give it to them.
they got metal."
yeah,
We
Yeah,
were
yeah.
asked, and who played
but
Pantera, AC/DC, and Guns N' Roses?
I'm
Was it
not
or was it?
sure. But even
Maybe
talking
Yeah,
not
I
about
think
Guns N' Roses. I
Black
think.
Crows were there.
yeah,
Yeah, the
but
Black
even
Crows, I think.
Germany
Yeah,
though, like the Rock am Ring in Munich and stuff. Is it Munich?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
them concerts they're on another level. I think like some of the Europe,
yeah.
like
I can
even over in
imagine.
Czech Republic and Prague and
Yeah, or even that Poland rock in
yeah. But then you
Poland.
look at like Mexico City and like Colombia and like
Yeah.
it's just
Those are
crazy.
amazing too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think everything they do has got a little bit of craziness to it. So,
Yeah,
even MetLife was great. So,
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
there was such a mystique around that time of And Justice for All and the Black Album. Like I'm sure you might remember watching those shows or videos, both of you. I
Yeah.
remember renting a DVD from the local library when I was 8, 9, 10 of the San Diego 92 show,
yeah.
which
Yeah. That box kit. Yeah.
at times my mother wouldn't be very receptive of me watching when James would be gesticulating to the ladies in the crowd to do certain things along to the song.
Yes. Yep.
But
Yep. I
and
know what you're
the
talking about. Yeah.
profanities and all the rest. But
Yeah,
like I just those songs, man, are just the speed, the power,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
presence on stage, the showmanship.
yeah.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. And
actually it's amazing that they've continued for so long. Like how crazy that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just unbelievable.
They're one of the only ones still doing it.
It will never. I'd put anything on it. There'll never be a band like them again, ever.
No way.
No. Like they just will not be repeated. I actually read during the week. I was telling you that possibly Iron Maiden are calling it a day.
Really?
Yeah, I think the
Dave Murray.
Dave Murray was kind of. There was an interview with him, and he just said, "Lads, I'm nearly fucking 70.
No, I get that. Yeah, and that's the thing too. That's why I wanted to see Metallica. We don't know how much time they have left. I mean, they're 60s, and they're doing that up there. It's amazing.
Funny when we left Slane Castle. Do you remember I said to you, and I just
had a notion
because we seen James so close. I said. Funny, he went into rehab after Slane, and I said he don't look good. He's
you
puffy.
said he doesn't look well.
He just. I said. I remember walking out. I said, "Look back. This is the last time we're going to see them."
Yeah, I thought they were done after that too. Yeah, I thought that was it for him.
Yeah, like he's out of breath. He's tired.
Yeah, he didn't. I think he was on the bottle. Obviously,
could be.
He has his demons, like the rest of us. But
right.
I'm glad they came back.
Yeah, I didn't think
I'm
they
looking
were.
forward to seeing them. Yeah, I remember I walking out of Slane and I said, "Look back, because that's the last time you're going to see them." Because I think he's fucking done.
That's what I thought. And then COVID came through. I'm like, we're never going to see them live again. But they're back. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
So
he's back with a vengeance. Like he has summoned some vintage Hetfield vibes.
Yeah,
he's back to himself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And they put on a 2-hour show. It was great.
And was both nights just as good in MetLife?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's a little bit more better songs depending on who you are. You might like set 2 or set 1 better, but yeah, the sound was great. I mean, something was going on when he played 1. I mean, you could watch some of the videos. It's just, I think he got tired.
I had seen something, about the double kicks or the
he just didn't play it.
Failed on.
Yeah. He didn't play it. He didn't play that part. It wasn't a trigger. I saw where he came in. He came in with the single shot, so it was. I say people might not know what I'm talking about, but he had to get back into the groove without playing the double bass. So
yes,
it's hard for me to explain. The way he picked it back up, you could tell that he wasn't playing it on purpose, and he just picked it back up when it was back to single. I get it. Maybe he was tired. You have to remember it's in August. It was hot. It was fucking humid. Yeah. So I get it. And that's like the second night they were probably just running on empty. So, but yeah, from what I saw, he just didn't even attempt to play it, which is fine. I mean, I waited all my life to hear the double bass part live, but that's okay. But yeah.
We got to get you over to Europe maybe this summer, Chris.
Imagine that. That'd be cool. I think they're doing another one in Boston. If I can get some really good seats.
They're going to Gillette.
Yeah.
I'd actually went to see them in Gillette. I bought this hat on the worldwide tour in Gillette in 2017. And just cool. As I would have been sitting my SATs, the equivalents of the Leaving Cert here in June. My father was living and working there at the time, so I went out in May and we went to Boston to see Metallica. And it was absolutely phenomenal. It was a great gig. And the seats were pretty high, Chris, but the sound was really good.
That was good.
So
okay.
I would recommend, wherever you're probably going to get seating, pretty good.
I would. I'd probably consider going if I could get one of those platforms with a bunch of people. But I don't want to sit up top again. I did that already. But so if I could find some really good seats, I may go. So I look for them here and there. So we'll see what I can find.
Sometimes, like you said earlier, StubHub just wait till like the day or two before. There's always somebody gets sick or something comes up and they sell.
Yeah. That's what.
Even Europe, like the ticket prices that you were quoting there, like we're going to a concert and we got the 2 nights for.
What was it? We got them at grid price. We got them at retail 200 maybe.
200 for the 2 nights.
So it was like $100 a show.
That's amazing. See, well, when you order through Ticketmaster, a lot of people know Ticketmaster just puts some fees on there like crazy, and then
we went through Ticketmaster. Right?
Yeah, but we were lucky that it was like.
We went through the Spanish one.
Fully sold out, but it wasn't. They weren't resale ones. They were general release.
They were general release, yeah. But no, we didn't get floor. We didn't get floor. But...
And we wanted to also put somebody in the group wanted to put the insurance on them. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't really buy insurance for stuff like that, but that's fine if somebody in the group wanted to do it. So I think that jacked it up another couple bucks, but still, even with all that, I thought it was a good
Yeah.
price for 2 nights.
Yeah,
Most
yeah, yeah.
shows, like I said, the one back in Albany was going for that for 1 night.
Yeah.
And then, just like Slayer, I remember trying to get on Slayer's last tour. They were doing the farewell tour. The prices were ridiculous, and I'm like, I remember I saw you guys for like $40 in Poughkeepsie. What are
Yeah.
you doing? But
Yeah.
I hear they're coming back too this
All
summer
right.
for 2 shows. Yeah, they're reuniting for 2 shows. So
I
I
remember
was watching
seeing
it.
uh I think I was telling you, I seen Metallica in the Prudential Center in Jersey, the indoor gig, that Magnetic tour. That was probably one of the best sounds I heard
Yeah,
Metallica play. Indoor
yeah.
gig, man.
Yeah,
The
that
Oh,
was
indoor
an
shows.
incredible
Yeah,
tour.
oh my God. I remember it was a Super Bowl Sunday, I remember. I think it was, oh God, 2010, maybe 2011.
2010, 20. The Giants weren't playing the Pats that year, were they?
I can't remember.
Hardly, because you would have been working if that was the case.
I know, and I remember I
Because
might as well tell this story.
The Steelers probably played
I
Green
bought
Bay.
like six. I told you this story.
Yeah, this is a great story.
I bought like 6 tickets, right? Because I got them. My cousin, who lives in Jersey, you know the way sometimes they do like a special offer if you're with like a certain cell network or something like that. They do like a promotion. So he's like, I can get the early pre-release tickets. I'm like, get 6 of them. I'll sell them or whatever.
right.
Ended up me and this other Irish guy that were living over there. We went, and because it was Super Bowl Sunday, nobody wanted to go. So I'm like,
Ah,
I have like, I mean, we didn't get floor, but we were like 5 rows up.
mhm.
Prudential Center's not that big.
Right.
And and so I'm in Newark with 4 spare tickets, and I'm like, I don't want these to go to waste. So I'm like, if somebody's up top, I'm gonna just say, yeah, take them. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm outside, and I think we're having a can or whatever. And I happen to bump into these guys, and I'm like shooting the shit, talking shit, and I'm like, where are you sitting? And they're like, oh, we're up top. And I'm like, I have 4 tickets, you can have them. And he's
Yeah,
like,
right. Not
really?
today. You're not sitting up top.
Yeah. But my friend is like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, what? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Buy me a beer or something. He's like, no, no, no. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, look at their jackets. I'm like, what? He's like, that's the fucking Hell's Angels.
Oh.
So for the
Oh, wow.
Metallica gig, I sat with the Hell's Angels at a Metallica gig.
All right, that's cool.
The guy bought you beers. He
Bought
was
me
all
beer.
like, yeah.
And he's like, these better not be duds. I'm like, no, they're not. And after I seen the jacket, I'm like, oh my
Oh
God,
boy.
he's gonna kill me. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
they were cool. They were
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
good.
And they were high fiving me like, this is the best night ever. I'm like, yeah, just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
kill me.
That's a story, man. That's funny.
Yeah, that's
So,
funny. Yeah, that was in Newark. Yeah, man. Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah, good times.
That's
Good times. So what do you think, Luke? Will we do questions or
Yeah, let's do a few quick fire
do
questions.
you mind? Yeah, we do it in every podcast. Just kind
okay.
of finish it up. So, the first and last concert that you have attended.
The last one was obviously 72 season Metallica MetLife, and the first one was Rob Zombie, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
1998, around October 98, same place, Poughkeepsie, New York. They did a lot of shows up there at the time. So yeah, Rob Zombie was the first one.
So you would
Metallica
have
the
got to
last.
see John Tempest to play with Rob at the time?
Yes, yep. And I don't think I was really into drums as heavy as I am now, but yeah, that was Rob there. Yeah. So
Nice.
Oh man,
yeah,
John's such a killer
that
player as well.
yeah.
One of those trash gods.
Yep. And Zombie puts on a hell of a show, all kinds of props, kind of like Guar, but bigger. I mean, they had like zombies driving cars and stage
Cool.
cars. It was just amazing. So yeah, that was the
Cool.
first one. So
Do you remember the first album that you bought? So first record.
the first one I bought was Kill 'Em All. Like we
You got
talked
the
about.
load cassette.
I
Did
got the
someone give
load, and
that
I'm
to you?
like, all right, let's do this in chronological order. Let me buy
So you started
Kill
with
'Em All
that.
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kill 'Em All was the first one I bought with my own money. I was given load
Wow.
first, but yeah, Kill 'Em All was the first record I ever bought. Yeah.
Did I ask you what was your first one?
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my first one was Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lyric in a song that ever resonated with you, that really spoke to you?
I I think anything from one, when he says, hold my breath and wish for death, I
Mm.
just think, and the video they used with the guy who's got no arms and no legs and no sight, that one really, that's scary. Because then you
Yeah,
sit back and you think, imagine being that guy in that position. You can't do nothing. You're just there with your thoughts. That one's
yeah,
scary. That
yeah.
that one resonates with me. That's
That
the
yeah,
scary one. Because
yeah,
as a working man, I use my hands, and at playing drum, you use your hands and your sight and
hmm
your hearing. And if it
yeah.
was all gone, that's the one that resonates with me big time. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Good answer. Good
Yeah,
answer.
no, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
So,
scary, but
yeah, that would be scary, man. We don't know how
yeah.
lucky we are sometimes.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
if you had the if you had the power to get five of your favorite artists in a room to record an album, who would they be?
All right. Well, this is you're gonna think I'm crazy, but you got to have Vince on the drums. I
Okay.
love Lars, and I'm a huge Metallica fan, but Vinnie Paul is just a walking metronome. So
Yeah, no, honestly, he's just
yeah,
his impeccable time and everything. His power.
yeah. Um, you got to have Cliff on the bass. A- Absolutely.
Man,
Um,
what a
I
rhythm section.
yeah. You got to have Dave Mustaine as your lead.
Oh, dude.
Don't
Yeah,
mention the war.
and I'm gonna say Hetfield or Dime as your rhythm.
Fuck me, this is some band.
And for vocals, I mean, how do you stray away from Hetfield? But then you got Tom Araya, and even Max Cavalera is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Uh,
that would be a good shout.
I think
yeah,
Max would go better.
Yeah.
yeah. I think Max, believe it or not, that's a sleeper. I would have to say Max Cavalera.
Oh man,
Yeah.
imagine that as a band.
I think you've. I think you've. I think you've topped the list.
Yeah,
I think you've
yeah.
topped the list. That
Chris has got top spot.
yeah, that is a
Yeah,
sick fucking band. Yeah,
yeah. Think
yeah.
about it. Everybody thought I was going to go with Lars, but man, Vinny is just something else, So
I'd
I
safely say if you went to that show, it would be louder than Pantera in Poughkeepsie.
yeah.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine the
yeah.
fight on
So
stage?
that's the band I think. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Give us a name. What's it called? Putting you on the spot
Oh
now.
God, I don't even know. What would you call something like that? That would be extreme.
Jesus.
It's like that story at the start when they were trying to come up with a name for Metallica, and James quotes it was like, "As far as Lars was concerned, we could have called the band Thunderfuck."
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
all heavy listening to AC/DC at the time.
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That'd be a
man.
crazy band. Yeah, I can't give you an answer on what to call it, but
Yeah,
you
no,
would need
that's a
some
tough.
time.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. Luke, you got any questions?
Chris, what is that sound to you? So your perfect drum sound. I think you've mentioned it already, being the kick drums in "And Justice for All." But if you could
Uh,
have, say, your holy grail setup, what would that be?
you're talking about sound now, right? So, I mean, you've got to go with the Injustice for All kick drums, and you have to have the Black Album snare. Um, Definitely, that's what I think. As far as toms are concerned, I mean, the Black Album just really had a good sound in general, but the Injustice for All was like just heaven for drummers. So kind of a
Yeah,
mix between those two. But
yeah.
then you've got all the tom sounds that Vince did, reinventing the steel and Far Beyond Driven. Those are some amazing tom sounds.
Oh,
And I don't know if you've ever seen Pantera live. Vince's snare, the snare just echoed and cracked, and it's like nothing I've ever heard. So I would kind of do a mix of that, maybe Injustice for All kick drums, and maybe the Vince Live snare and the Far Beyond Driven
That'd be
toms.
incredible.
yeah, man.
Imagine
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that
Jesus,
that
man.
that's what I think. Yeah.
that's
So,
power. Definitely.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man. I tell you, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I really,
oh,
really enjoyed it.
absolutely, this has been fun. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
I really had a good time.
And we'll definitely add on links to Chris's page, and maybe we'll get Chris to send over some photos, and we'll attach them of
Oh
your
yeah,
kits and
absolutely.
stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
send them
send you some
on.
For
stuff.
anyone who hasn't checked out Chris or checked out his page or his drum kits or his builds, please be sure to check them out.
Yeah, we'll put
This
them.
Yeah, I
man's put a lot
appreciate
of
it.
time and effort into his craft. building them. He's a drum nerd like myself and the rest
Yeah,
of us.
absolutely. And feel free to ask questions. I love talking about it and helping people out. But sometimes when you're dealing with Instagram, like an email will get lost in like not your primary box. It'd be like a
Yeah.
In
request
the
box.
requests.
So I don't always check it. So don't be upset if I don't get back to you right away. Sometimes it gets tucked away. But yeah, ask questions. I love talking about the stuff,
Cool.
helping people with their builds and stuff. So I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Appreciate the plug there. So
Definitely, man.
definitely.
Maybe
The
And
we get
reason
yeah,
he's not texting you back is because he's playing drums right now.
oh
absolutely.
building.
Oh, building them.
And I'm trying to get some covers going. I'm trying. I'm getting there
Yeah,
slowly,
man.
like
Yeah.
I said before. But I think people enjoy that, so I'm working on
Definitely,
it,
man.
guys.
Cool. Cool. Maybe
So
we get you on again. Maybe we go a bit deeper the next time.
yeah, absolutely. Let me know. I enjoy stuff like this.
Cool,
So
man. Well,
definitely. But I really appreciate the invite today. It was fun doing this. Thank you so
cool.
much. I really
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
man. Yeah, no, thanks for your time, man.
No,
Everybody's busy. We
absolutely,
appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it.
absolutely. It was fun. It was fun. So
Cool, man.
Chris,
all
it's
right,
been a
guys.
pleasure.
All
Thank
right,
you
guys.
very much.
Be
All right,
safe.
man.
Be safe.
All right.
Have a good one.